one of the things too that I've always wanted, at least out of this as a takeaway, is that it's not just one that the Bible is relevant today. It's
Mm.
relevant in everyone's own, life, potential marriage, but work probably most important. Have you seen a connection so you get sort of challenged or filled up, but that next step of you've begun maybe to see how some of this plays out in your life in the office or in the even at home? I mean, where have you sort of felt a growth area or maybe willing to take a spiritual risk to use some of this, if you will, a changed heart into kind of your day-to-day life?
Absolutely. I feel in a way it's almost like it's like a seed or
Mm,
um, uh, flicking the domino that then and relays to other things where
mm,
it's not like some big momentous, in my mind, some big momentous torch that I carry for the next month. It's like great uh, questions and pondering and nuggets of information that I take away from every meeting, where it just kind of sits on my brain. And then, because it's sitting on my brain and somewhat in the front of my thoughts, it just, in a way, opens my eyes to certain little daily or weekly opportunities to try and be that light.
mm,
Um, maybe not be preachy, but welcome conversation, or just simply through actions, be like, okay, yes, I should follow what God would want me to do in this situation.
mm,
And so that's, I think, been the biggest thing, where it's it's like a monthly powerful reminder and insight into faith, where I can come with questions and they're oftentimes answered, or at least gets me further down that path, and then I can be held accountable without feeling
mm.
pressure.
Yeah.
It's like natural accountability. Yeah, and obviously, as everyone can attest, to stepping in the world, and there's opportunities to lie or be greedy or
Mm,
any of those things. And I mean, we're all going to stumble, and if anything, we bring it up to the group, and there's been those conversations. And it's always like an encouraging, loving, understanding type of thing. It's at least when I've been there, and
mhm,
I just feel like that allows me to better go in the world. I mean, of course, because I can talk to friends, and now my wife, who's about her faith. But it's just another strong layer to encourage me to just be mindful of what I'm saying, what I'm doing throughout the day, so that at work, right, I can treat my clients. Yes, we're helping each other, and there are financial benefits both ways.
mm,
But I'm going to treat them as an individual, like, because they are a child of God. And I ever so subtly, not always successfully, right? Um, but like ever so subtly, it seems like in those engagements, when I'm just focused on like, hey, let's do right with this client, and treat them fairly and listen to them, and treat them with respect, like a human and child of God. It always seems like those connections become tighter with that individual, right? Or that group, and then that group says, you know what, hey, shoot, we like this engagement. We like your company. We
mm,
feel heard. We feel respected, and we can trust you guys to do good work and really take our feedback, and give us, you know, trusted advice,
mm.
not advice that maybe is always going to lean in our favor. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
No. I guess just one last question is, what would you say to somebody that's kind of considering jumping in? Would you recommend it? And kind of, do you see that connection between growing spiritually and again connecting it to your work? So
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely recommend it.
yeah.
I'm about 2.5 years in, and it being once a month and at least hours is at like what, 6:15, is it?
Right.
In the morning, like it's not easy to get up. I've showed up late plenty of times. But despite those mental and lazy hurdles, every time I've gone, even when I show up late, um, I still walked away being like, dang, I'm so glad I went today. And that just that little spark just carries for like really the next 3 weeks, and then I'm looking forward to the next one, right? Because it's every four. Um,
Hmm.
and so I highly recommend it. just because again, it's you foster these genuine connections with people of different age groups, different life stages, but they're all there looking in the same direction humbly, and they're able to put their arm around you when you're confessing something. They're able to encourage you when you're
Mhm.
celebrating something. And then with all of that, you're all surrounded around just really concrete and deep insight and education that, again, thankfully you bring to the table. And then there's that structure that can ebb and flow, but like there is a structure, and you're going to get a deep dive.
Mhm.
So I,
Very
I
cool.
love it, and it adds that extra layer to my life of thoughtful insight that lasts, and then quality connections, and it just helps me to kind of stay on track.
Oh, well said. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. I appreciate it. I don't know if there's anything else to add or not.
I mean, it's just quality time. I
Yeah.
think I've said it all, but it's been such a subtle but very valued piece of my life.